Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scattered Brilliancy. My name is Travis, and today we're going to be talking about the series Married at First Sight. Now, for those who don't know anything about the series, I'm going to kind of go over what it's about and just talk about it a little bit. The show is 6 episodes in this season. It's currently season 3. And me and my wife started watching it together, and I thought, wow, this might be a good show to maybe review, and if not necessarily review, just to, talk about. It's really cold and nasty and wet outside, so I figured why not make this video now since it came on last night. So, Married at First Sight. And if you do watch it, let me know in the comments that you watch it. So, Married at First Sight is a show that I would be willing to bet started off in another country and they just brought it here. But anyway, Marriage at First Sight is where a team of experts match 3 couples together and they marry each other without ever meeting them. So the first time that they actually see their spouse, or their soon-to-be spouse rather, is at the altar. Currently, right now, they're in season 3. In season 1, which I watched like the wrap-up, I watched the kind of reunion type episode, and I thought, oh, this seems like a cool show. But as far as season 1 is concerned, one of the 3 couples has divorced, and as of the 6-month catch-up with that season's couples, 2 of them are still together. Season 2, all 3 couples are no longer together. So it's not really looking too good for the ones who stay married and the ones who divorce, because right now the divorcees are winning. Divorcees? The divorced people are winning. But so we have season 3 now. So I'm going to kind of briefly talk about everything. So in the very first episode, it was the matchmaking episode, and that is where they kind of went through the process that they go through, talked about the questionnaires that the participants have to fill out and answer to kind of match everybody up. So they eventually did make 3 matches, obviously, because they wouldn't have a show. The first match is Trey and Vanessa. Trey is 27 and he sells luxury cars. Vanessa is 26 and she is an event planner, I believe. You have Neil and Samantha. Neil, I think they're both 30. One of them might be 32. Neil's 32 and Samantha is 30. Neil, I don't remember what they do. And then you have David and Ashley. David is 30 and Ashley is 30. And Ashley is a nursing student. And David, I don't remember what he does either. Sorry. But, so these are our 3 couples. Now, you had your matchmaking episode, which was first. Then you had your episode where you meet everybody at the altar. Not really going to get into that. But off top, what I will say is there is one particular couple within these 3 who seem to be strides ahead of everybody else. And that couple is Trey and Vanessa. Side note, all 3 of these couples all reside in Atlanta, Georgia. So I don't know if they've done that in the past seasons, but this season everybody resides in the same city, which is probably really cool because everybody's kind of from the same area, even though Atlanta's pretty big, so I thought that was really nice. So Trey and Vanessa seem to be the couple that are making the most progress as far as a married couple. They were instantly attracted to each other when they first saw each other at the altar. And you could just tell that there was a genuine connection between the 2. Me and my wife, we really enjoy watching them on TV. And it's not because they're black. It's just because they are the most, I'm not going to even say entertaining, but they're the most positive. I don't know if positive is the right word. We just like watching them the most because, I guess they feel the most authentic. And things between them don't seem so forced and they're on the same page. So that's what makes them the most likable. I guess that's a better term. They're the most likable couple on the show. So let me go through it. So they had their wedding was fine. Of course, like I said, they were attracted to each other. As of now, into episode 6, they had not consummated their marriage. And for those who don't know what that means they have not had sex yet. But I think that's going to happen in the next episode. But the last episode that came on last night was about all 3 couples moving in. So the first episode was a matchmaking episode. The second one was about wedding preparation. The third one was the actual wedding. The 4th one was, I guess, the reception. Then there was the honeymoon, and then now this was moving in together. Trey and Vanessa have found a house in an area that's a little bit closer to where Trey used to live. Vanessa's having some issues when it comes to compromise. But early on, it seemed like she was going to have an issue with the fact that Trey he wasn't really actively looking for marriage, whereas she came into this show and into this opportunity simply because she could not find a long relationship, and he just tried to try it, it seemed like. So they're the most likable couple in my eyes. The next couple is David and Ashley. David and Ashley are how can I say this? Watching them on TV kind of makes, it's like, oh my God, it's like, what is the word that I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, I haven't been to work in a week and a half and I've already lost all my words. Watching them is kind of like, oh my gosh, like you just want to like just get it out. Like, I guess what I'm doing right now, that's how it makes you feel. Like, David is a very likable person on the show. He's really open to the idea of marriage. He's really happy that he's married Ashley. And, you know, he's really excited. You know, that's the way it comes off, at least in the beginning. Now he's seeming like his joy and his happiness is starting to go down a little bit. And that is because Ashley is not as open as he is. Ashley honestly was disappointed by what she saw at the altar when they first got there. You know, I talked about Trey and Vanessa being instantly attracted to each other. That was not the case for David and Ashley. It was very one-sided. David found Ashley attractive, but Ashley did not. She said David is not the typical guy that she dates. But I was at least glad that Ashley recognized that maybe if I keep dating the same kind of guys, I'm going to keep ending up in the same kind of situation. So maybe dating something other than what my norm is may be what's best for me. And I do like the fact that the couples kind of keep reiterating the fact that the experts have matched them for a specific reason. And I guess it's up to them to find out what that specific reason is and to kind of just trust the process. So, like I was saying, David is attracted to Ashley. Ashley ain't really feeling David. And throughout these whole, I guess, 5 episodes, because they didn't know each other in the first 1 or 2, I really disliked watching her on TV up until last night because of how cold she was and and mind you, this is all just what it seems like coming through the television. We know TV and reality shows are edited to a certain way, so you know what we see may not be exactly how it is. So I'm just speaking on what is shown. She seems so unwilling to open herself up to him, which at the same time is understandable because to a certain degree, they're all strangers. So some people are more willing and able to open up to people they don't know. Some people are not. And she was definitely somebody who's just not opening up to her husband. They haven't had any kind of physical touch aside from high-fiving. That is all that she is giving him. You know, I think he has a desire to want to hug her, to want to kiss her, and maybe even to have sex with her. But he has made it very clear that he respects the pace that she's going at, which is good for him. But it would just be nice to see her open up a little bit more. I'm not sure how many episodes they have. This whole process, they say, is 6 weeks, which is interesting because to say that you're going to marry somebody that you don't know and we're only going to give you 6 weeks to determine whether you want to stay with them or not is very, very different, and it's odd and it's interesting, and I guess it makes for good TV. So I'm hoping that as the rest of the season progresses, David and Ashley kind of open up to each other. They seem more closer to opening up than the next couple that I'm about to talk about. So it's kind of like you have 3 different steps in time. You got Trey and Vanessa, who are completely open and touchy-feely. You know, never "I love you" because they're of course not there, but they're just, you know, open. That's not a word. They're open to each other and open to the idea and the possibility. You have David and Ashley, where David is really ready for all of that. Ashley is not, so that it kind of has them at a standstill. And your last couple is Neil and Samantha. The best thing to describe Neil and Samantha is they're a very quirky type of couple. Neil is very monotone, and everything he says is kind of like this, and anytime he makes an inflection in his voice is kind of like right here at the end of the sentence, and the whole time he talks is like this, and not a lot of facial expressions, and he's just very like this the whole time. This is how he talks. And Samantha is very, like, not even bubbly, just quirky. That's the best word to use. I'm not going to use any other word. So the same situation that happened for Ashley, I believe, has happened for Samantha. Samantha is not attracted to Neil. And I don't know, I think Neil might be somewhat attracted to her, but to be totally honest, Samantha was coming off like, I don't use the B word, but to describe to y'all how she was coming off, that's how she was coming off in the beginning of the series, or the beginning of the season rather, because you could just tell that she was so uncomfortable with him. And it makes me wonder, how would I act if I married somebody I met somebody for the first time and we're marrying each other and I don't find her attractive? How would I act? So I don't completely fault her or Ashley for the way that they act. But I think that, on the side note, I think both of them had certain expectations when they came onto this show. I think both of them thought that they were walking into a certain kind of situation, and they probably thought that they were going to get this man who was going to be what they believed was best for them looks-wise. And they're both very disappointed about who they've been matched with. So as of right now, of course, Neil and Samantha, they've hugged. That's about it. They decided to move in. I think everybody moved into a house. If I'm not mistaken, no. Okay, so Trey and Vanessa, they got a house. David and Ashley got a really nice house. $3,500 a month. I'm like, you know what kind of house you can get in North Carolina for $3,500 a month? What? And what did Samantha and Neil get? I don't remember. I don't remember what they got, but they all moved in. So the show is really, really interesting. It's really, really cool. And if you don't watch it, I would suggest you watch an episode, especially if, well, you know, whether you're single or you're in a relationship. I think that the show, and I have to cough, and I hate coughing on camera. I think the show can give you a certain perspective to help you with your dating life or your single life or your relationship life, because it allows you to see what some other people are going through in their relationships, and maybe you can learn something from it. As of right now, I haven't learned anything, but it is very entertaining to see them go through this. As a newlywed myself, it's very cool to see them, you know, go through the same things me and my wife have gone through, just in a condensed amount of time. Because honestly, everything that is kind of happening, we've had that moment. Especially as far as compromise, you know. I bought my house when I was 24, and you know, I've lived in my house by myself for a while, so I've gotten used to living by myself and doing things the way that I want them to do, and doing things the way that I wanted to do them. So when she moved in at the beginning of last year, it was a huge change, because that's the first time I've ever lived with someone. The girls that I've dated in the past, yeah, you can come and stay for a couple of nights, but you're not actually living there. And there is a huge difference between staying the weekend and living with someone. So that whole thing alone has been very interesting for us to have to deal with, is living with another human being whose expectations and whose lifestyle might be different than yours. So that part has been the part that I've identified with the most. But I think it's a really, really good show. I'm really interested to see where these couples are going to go. I wish the best to all three. But based on the way that things are going right now, I don't know if all three of them are going to make it. I do not believe Ashley and David are going to make it if Ashley does not let some more of her guard down and let some more of her wall down and open up to David. And I felt so bad for David in the last episode, because when they came back from the honeymoon, Ashley went to stay at her place, David went to stay at his place. And you could just see on his face how disappointed and upset he was that, forget it. I had to do it, I'm sorry. You could see on his face how disappointed and upset he was that his wife was not staying the night with him. And me and my wife were just both talking about, dang, I feel so bad for him, because he seems like such a good guy. And for her to not open up to him, you know, it just sucks. Neil and Samantha kind of had a moment that maybe brought them a little closer together on the last day of their honeymoon. It wasn't caught on camera, but apparently Samantha was driving on the wrong side of the road and almost got them into an accident. And the way that Neil talked to her in that moment really, I guess, clicked something on the inside of her that made her think, this guy is a pretty good guy and he cares for you to a certain extent, so maybe you should give him a chance. And you can see a little bit of their relationship changing, because it was very headbuttish in the beginning, because she says she wants a guy to be dominant and to be extremely masculine. And Neil is not that. He's very passive. Is he passive or is he passive aggressive? he's not real aggressive. So maybe he's passive. He might be passive aggressive, but he's real passive and very chill and very laid back, and that's just not the kind of man that she wants to be with. So, you know, she would make little jabs about his masculinity and everything, and just watching them was just cringeworthy. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Cringeworthy. Watching them was cringeworthy. Thank you, God, for bringing it to me. But I would suggest that y'all watch the show. I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking about it because I could talk about it for a long time. But like I said, the show is called Married. I'm about to say Married to Medicine. That is not the show. It's Married at First Sight. It comes on the F.Y.I channel on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. Next week's episode is about, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can find the episodes on demand or on YouTube. I don't know. But if you watch the show, please tell me what you think about it so I can have some other people to discuss it with. If you're a newlywed and you're watching it, let me know that as well, because we can, you know, identify with each other. But I'm getting hot, so I'm about to come out of this sweatshirt and go back to doing absolutely nothing. This will probably be the last video for 2016. Maybe we'll do a New Year's Eve, who knows. But if I don't see y'all again for the rest of 2015, y'all have a very safe New Year's Eve and a very happy New Year's Day. Again, I say thank you so much to all those who watch my videos. Please like, rate, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And leave any suggestions for things that you want me to talk about in 2016. Things are going to change a little bit in 2016, so y'all will see that change when it comes. But they're going to be slight changes for 2016, but you'll see that a little bit later. Thank you so much. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.